Attribute Based Access Control in SAP. Che cosa significa? Policy Based Access Control. Come ti può essere utile? Probabilmente sono sigle che non ti dicono nulla o forse ti sono già note, ma come applicarle in SAP e quando? Ne parliamo con Jean-François della società NextLab. Jean-François, presentaci chi è NextLab in 15 secondi.
NextLab is a US software company specialized in dynamic preventative data protection in SAP and in critical applications. NextLab is endorsed and even resold by SAP, but also by other software vendors like Siemens and marketplaces from ServiceNow e AWS.
E raccontaci perché vanno tanto di moda utilizzare il paradigma Role-Based Access Control, mentre Attribute-Based Access Control oppure il Policy-Based Access Control in SAP viene utilizzato molto meno o per nulla.
The simple reason is that PFCG, or Role-Based Access Control, was designed a long time ago. ABAC was actually designed in 1992. They were designed to give functional access to users in roles, to define which business activities users can perform. Role-based access control was not very interested to protect granular data according to the context of the users, according to the context of the data. For example, when I'm on vacation, I should not pay vendors or change bank details. From my personal laptop, I should not extract data files containing critical data. And this is the complementary of ABAC on top of ABAC, which is adding context and granularity. This context is important today when people are moving fast, when they work from home. Data is becoming sensitive from one day to the other. Public data is very sensitive today, and tomorrow when the financial data is published to the media, it's not sensitive at all anymore. This is why SAP chose us and resold us in order to complement the traditional PFCG roles.
Bene, ma perché se SAP fornisce già un paradigma Role-Based Access Control dovrei aver bisogno di un ulteriore modello?
Both models are actually very complementary. ABAC will define the functions, the transactions and tiles a user can access to. This is very static, does not change every minute. ABAC lies on top and will restrict the access according to rules, policies. The context, the runtime will be taken into consideration, can change fast. For example, if my IP address changes to China, this may not be Jean-François anymore. Or if I try to extract all the GDPR data because I'm a SAP all or a super user, I can, but this is not normal and will be blocked by ABAC. If I pay over 50k euros a vendor which I created 2 weeks ago with my roles because I changed organizations in the last 2 weeks, so I can pay a vendor which I created 2 weeks ago, and I validated the PO 2 weeks ago with my old role. That's not normal, that should be blocked.
Ma quindi significa che devo rimettere in discussione tutto il modello autorizzativo definito fino ad oggi?
No, the beauty of ABAC is that it leaves the roles as they are. You do not touch them. You just add a control layer on top. For example, we will mask any GDPR data from Jean-François, whatever roles and T-codes and tiles he has access to, even in SC16 menus, whatever. Some customers recently asked us to forbid critical transactions in S4. Instead of redesigning roles, which is a big project, they said, can we use ABAC to protect our 20, 30, 40 forbidden transactions? And with ABAC, we can simply list those transactions and block them for all users, irrespective of which roles those users are using.
Ma quanto è semplice da installare? Che cosa richiede?
Yes, there are two necessary components for NextLab. One is specific server for the policy management, for the logs, the audit. It is a separate box, J2EE box. And you need a local plugin next to the application in order to enforce, to control the data we want to control.
Naturalmente si applica a standard o custom e tiene conto delle evoluzioni introdotte da S4HANA, quindi Fiori ad esempio?
Yes, I confirm standard and custom can be managed as well as the new evolutions, in particular S4HANA Fiori, the tiles.
A livello progettuale, ovviamente dipende sempre dal contesto e da cosa si decide di fare, ma quanto tempo serve e chi sono gli attori da coinvolgere.
SAP security teams will manage day-to-day platform, but the policies will be defined and often managed separately by policy owners, for example, the GDPR owners, the export control owners, or data governance people, IT security.
Se vuoi ascoltare altri contenuti di questo tipo, iscriviti al canale. A presto, ciao!